Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa.
Well, hello.
Hi there. How are you today?
First, how are you doing?
Why is that first? You're not prepared to answer that question?
Well, they say you're supposed to confess your sins, so I'm just going to get it out there.
Uh-oh.
I have not adequately prepared for this show because I have gone down a rabbit hole that I do not seem to be able to come out of it. Now, I was trying to get the info on the current events, and have you heard about that Alabama Riverboat Brawl?
Girl, let's get to that segment of the show.
Well, Teresa, you know about it. I was so sure with your hard-working self, you didn't know a thing about it. I said, because Teresa doesn't have time. And you know how you tell me, stay off TikTok? I am telling you. It has just been too much. And for the sake of our audience, in case somebody does not know, a security guard in Alabama was doing his job, and there was a big riverboat coming in filled with people, and this group of boaters had their pontoon boat in the wrong space that the riverboat needed to come in. So the security guard was doing his job and asked them to move the boat. Well, they started fighting the security guard, and I am telling you, it just went all downhill from that. Some black people, rescue people, heroes, call them what you will. They came from everywhere. I'm so thankful no one had a gun. And I feel guilty that I've been looking at this stuff and laughing, but I am telling you, Facebook is one thing, but because the people on Facebook that you mostly associate with, your friends and colleagues, well, they're sort of similar to you. I have people who are just not that creative. They're friends. I'm not either, but that TikTok stuff, I'm telling you, I have gone down the rabbit hole. They are so creative.
Tell me what you're seeing. What? Because I don't do.
Teresa, there are memes out there. The people are selling chains with the chair on it, because there was one person who used the chair. They keep showing the video. There was one brother who jumped in the water to join the fight, and there was one skipping, and they've got children learning how to defend with chairs. They've got black people out there carrying chairs strapped to their side like a gun. It's just been hilarious. And that piece, that's one piece, the funny side of it. But of course, there's a serious side, which talks
very
about,
serious.
Yeah, that black people are just tired of being traumatized and attacked, and the Karens on the loose. That, and it's like Malcolm X said, we reach a point where intellectually black people will understand if you're attacked, then I'm attacked, because we're always at the mercy of people. And it was just, I'm not condoning violence, but I am telling you, I did not do one thing on this segment. I just realized today it was like, I got an excitement. You know how you tell me all the time, stay off TikTok. I could not help it.
Yes.
Seriously, it's been hilarious.
Well, I haven't seen the funny side of it. I heard about it on the radio on my way into work, right? So once I reached work, I just did a Google search because I was like, what in the world happened?
Oh, Teresa, I'm so
Anyway, and
shocked you even knew about it. I was so sure you hadn't heard anything. I was like, Teresa's working all the time. She didn't have time like this to keep up. But oh, you shocked me today, partner.
oh yeah, I saw that story, and I didn't see anything funny. I didn't see the things that you're talking
Teresa,
about, but
they have
but
been too creative out there. They've got like in Wakanda when they do the war yell and people start coming. That's what they made this out to be. Like one part of the fight was that the gentleman threw his hat in the air. It's like a signal that I need help, and people were coming from everywhere. I'm telling you, it's just they've just been so creative. But like I said, I'm very thankful that nobody, pulled out a gun because that could have easily been far worse. But the fact that people saw this gentleman in trouble, and I mean, he was outnumbered, and they
yeah,
came to his rescue.
yeah.
I'm
So
thankful for that.
that's what I was gonna say is that um the police, because it was one of my stories actually. The I
Go
I
ahead,
appreciate
Teresa.
I appreciated the way that it was handled by the police, and that you know they weren't so quick to make it about that
Well,
gentleman, right?
well, but
And
there were a boatload of witnesses.
there
There were a
were.
lot of people who
How
saw
many
what happened.
times have we had
Oh yeah,
witnesses, Lou,
yeah.
and
Well,
things
that's true.
still didn't go our way, right? Or
Well,
go the right way? And
well,
so,
and Teresa, let's not be. We don't know what may happen from this. I'm still not trusting that there won't be charges and people won't be penalized. I hope not, but we have to see what the end result's going to be.
yeah, and like you said, it could have been far worse if someone had a gun. And I didn't see, at least in the video that I saw, that there was no an ambulance that came to take people away. So I don't think anyone was that badly hurt.
Right, right,
Um,
right. So
but it is, we don't condone violence, like you said, but it was quite a melee. it was
yes, it
it was quite a
was.
brawl.
And I'm
It was.
telling you, I was particularly impressed with the young brother that jumped in the water because I watch swimming and look at people, and I know the mechanics of people who are strong swimmers. He wasn't a strong swimmer, but he went anyway. And that's what I observed in him. He was like, I got to get there any means necessary. And to just see that, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was a strong swimmer. The stroke, he was moving quite. He wasn't
He was moving
technically.
rapidly, but
Yeah,
when I say the techniques of strong
the tech.
swimmers, his face would have been completely submerged and he would have
Yeah,
been stroking. So that
yeah,
told me the fact that he kept his head up. Well, anyway, that says a
yeah.
lot about the character of that person that he would jump in anyway, bravely jump in. Um,
And what I read was that he was 16 years old.
is that right?
16 years old, and they were colleagues. He actually was a colleague of that gentleman. They worked
Oh, was
together.
he? Because I was like,
Yeah,
what happened? Oh, what?
yeah,
Well,
that's what I read.
he didn't
He
hesitate.
was
So
a
I
colleague.
I apologize. Have not done my homework. I went down the rabbit hole, and I am telling you. And you do have mixed emotions because you're taught to be nonviolent and not to condone violence, but he was outnumbered, and they were in the wrong, clearly in the wrong,
Right, right,
and
right. So we got
he could
quite a
have lost
few.
his life.
We Lou, we got quite a few reactions in the comments.
Uh,
Martin, thank you, Martin Pratt, thank you so much. The 16-year-old black Aquaman is what he
wow.
said. He agrees his technique was off,
Oh,
right?
see, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he
Hmm.
bravely jumped in. I mean,
Right,
he did. And that, if you don't know, you might think, well, but I was looking at him thinking, wow,
right.
he's
And
not a
plus, you're a
strong
swimmer,
swimmer.
right?
And he jumped right in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and
hmm
yeah, you would recognize that because you're a swimmer too. Yeah.
well, I'm not a strong swimmer, but I'm around strong swimmers and I know how they look. Yeah.
Hmm.
And in my dreams, I look like that, but not really. But anyway, okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
something.
that's a testament to a couple of things, right? One of them being how quickly you can lose track of time on social media.
Oh,
And I tell you, Lou, it is the algorithm. I know you don't want to hear me preach
I
about
don't
this.
care, Teresa. I like
It's
it.
the algorithms, and they, because you saw that story and you kept watching those
I
stories,
sure
you kept
did.
feeding
I
them
sure
to you,
did. And it just
and you
kept
lost
popping up.
and
It
you
sure did.
lost track of time.
It was educational.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
it's funny too, but that's the way social media is designed. So let's don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, Teresa, that's how I'm educated these days, okay? I rely on the creativity of people. My standards are low. I'm not going to sit down and read a book about it or an article. I like it. Why don't you let me like stuff that I like?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
I,
yes,
I just
yes. You're
went
right. You're right.
down the
Okay.
rabbit hole today and it was quite informative. I have had so many laughs today.
Well, and
I
that's the
have.
other thing. That's the other thing, right? Laughter is the great stress reliever. So
Well,
you, yeah.
interspersed with that was some, African American interviews and quotes, and it's just been, it has not been all laughs. You understand what happened because they made a point of saying that this occurred right after Trump's rally in
Oh,
Alabama.
I didn't
So
realize
people were fired up from that, and I haven't listened to that song that people are reacting to. Jason
Jason
Aldean,
Aldean.
Aldean, and people are reacting to that. This wouldn't happen here or something, and people were like, "Yeah, try it." You think, yeah, okay. So it
Yeah,
was just,
he wrote a this song, that song, though they're referencing it, was
yeah.
not written for this event, but
Oh no, oh no.
it
But
kind of reflects that the same theme about something about, it's a country song talk and it's about um don't try it in our small
yeah,
town, or
yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah,
bring it to
yeah,
our small town. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think why it resonated. It brought back a childhood memory of mine
Okay.
when I was quite young, growing up in the segregated South. Yeah, I'm aging myself. But so what? We're gonna talk about aging anyway. But in my neighborhood in South Carolina, two of the young guys in my neighborhood were in high school and they came home from school, and these white boys followed them into our neighborhood to fight them.
Hmm.
Now, the two guys that they followed into my neighborhood, black neighborhood, they were pretty, nobody messed with them in my neighborhood. They
Right.
just didn't, but they thought it was okay to follow them.
Right.
My mom and my neighbor, her name was also Mrs. Brown, they heard the commotion and they ran up there to stop this fight because all the kids were yelling and stuff. And my mom and Mrs. Brown stopped it. And those two guys, I will never forget. They kept saying they were kicking us. They were kicking us like mules, like we were because they really were pummeling them. I mean, it could have been bad. But I'm thinking, as a little girl, okay, you followed them here. Do you realize where this is? So yeah, hmm it's like they say you wanna you have to be careful what you engage in. So
Right.
anyway,
Right.
so that's why I offer I'm fully confessing. So if you want to know something about that, I'm prepared. Anything else?
Well,
I got nothing.
okay. Well, good thing this show is, what we're going to talk about tonight is going to be
We're gonna talk
it's an
about
easy
peace and
topic.
love because we're about peace and
Peace
love
and love.
and the
That's right.
riverboat brawl too. But anyway,
Yeah.
all
Okay, we're done
right.
with that.
Okay, all right.
All right, here we go.
Peace
Here we
and
go.
love, peace and love. All right.
Peace and love. Exactly. Peace and love.
Okay. Okay. So
So
Teresa, you
today,
didn't say how are you doing?
I
Are you all
did.
right? How
I
are you?
started
Okay.
that
You good?
right. I started with
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay.
I
All
did.
right.
So you want to tell me now? Again?
No. No. Oh, you know what? You're trying to be snippy. All right, go on.
No,
Go
no, no,
on.
no.
Okay.
You said, did you forget
No,
how this
that
show
was the
started?
point. Go on. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go,
Okay.
Teresa. We only have a few
So
minutes.
today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about National Girlfriends Day, which was August 1st. Just
A
the
few days before the Riverboat Brawl. But anyway,
Are
every
you gonna
little thing
are you
I
gonna
have is going to reference that.
are you gonna figure out how to bring in the
Yes,
riverboat?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
with
I am.
everything.
Yes, I am.
Well, okay. So just want to talk about being a good girlfriend, right? Or a good
Yes,
friend for those
yes.
gentlemen that are on our show today. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, and you can't be a
Friend,
good friend by hitting people with chairs. I'm just adding that
no,
piece. That's
you
not
just
a good
can't.
friend.
That's
Go
just
on.
not a
Okay,
friend.
okay, I'm serious. Okay.
I just want to say that, friendships are they should be the cornerstones, or they are the cornerstones of our lives. And the bonds between girlfriends is truly, truly, truly something special. So on August 1st, first of all, did you celebrate it, Lou, with a girlfriend? August 1st, National Girlfriend's Day?
I celebrate every day with girlfriends. I
Okay,
mean, every
okay.
day. Did you do something to
I
celebrate,
did
Teresa?
not, because
I celebrate every day.
I did not
Yeah.
celebrate National Girlfriend's Day on August 1st, but I feel like, just like with my birthday, I celebrate the whole month. So I feel like there's time for me to
Okay.
celebrate National Girlfriend's Day this month. So after doing this segment, I plan to do a few things, right?
Okay.
So, but yeah, so it's a day dedicated to recognizing and cherishing the power of female friendships, whether it's a long lifetime confidant, a sister like companion, or a newly found ally. The day honors the incredible connections that women share with one another. What do
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah. That's good stuff.
I can
And
truly say that, I can truly say, though, that female friendships are unlike any other. Would you
it's
agree?
so true. Yeah, it's so true. And you know, I guess the thing that is so special about a real girlfriend is that that's the person or persons that you can go to get honest advice,
Mhm.
who might challenge you a bit. I remember years ago when, we had our son in daycare. And I cannot remember to this day what happened at the daycare to sort of rub me wrong that day. But I remember getting back to my office and calling my buddy at that time, Carol, who she too had two kids at the same daycare. And I just went in about, and I tell you what, when I go back there tomorrow, I'm yanking him out of there. And I was just going off about, I'm going to pull him out and I'm going to be done with them. And she listened to me and she said, okay, wait a minute. Um, what did she say? Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. She said, Lou, that was just one incident. And, you have to be careful yanking him out. He's used to that place. And let's talk about what happened. And she calmed me right down because she let me know now. You think you're going to find another daycare between today and tomorrow? Is that what you
Right,
think? It doesn't work that way. And
right,
then the where we have them is a good place. They made a mistake and you have to make allowances for that. And you don't want to burn those bridges because you
right.
don't know what you may be getting. And I remember vividly being in my office and her challenging me and saying, you're just upset, but you can't make a bad decision because this involves your child. And so that's what good friends do. You feel safe enough to vent, to show your true emotions,
Yeah,
and they sort of serve as a filter, if you will, but for you to process that. If you have true good friends, not the kind that sort of would have told me, oh yeah, and get into it and get you even more hyped up. I'd move my child too. And that could have ended very badly. But to say, let's look at this. This is one incident. And so I think that's a big part of true friendship, just having that person that you can speak to in confidence.
Yeah.
And that you're not afraid to, show yourself to. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a time for that too, right? That ride or die where you
Oh,
might
yeah.
just have
Yeah,
to
yeah. There's a time for that too. Yeah, you're right.
riverboat brawl.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
You do have those moments that okay, well, this person is going to be with me, and that's comforting too, to know no matter what happens, even if you disagree with what I've done at the
Right.
moment, I still know that you're in my corner. And that's very powerful in relationships. So, yeah.
So National Girlfriends Day has a website, and there's so many resources on the internet if you're trying to figure out a way to keep it fresh, right? And how to celebrate your girlfriend. So I just wanted to share a few that I found on the internet.
Okay.
You can host a girls' day out. So I
Mm.
guess, Lou, we did kind of have a girlfriend's day because we
Yeah.
went to go see Barbie and we
Okay.
dressed in
I
pink.
was after my Riverboat Brawl intro, I wasn't gonna tell people I've been to see Barbie, but as usual, you tell everything. I went under protest prior to the people. I had on pink though. They made me, but I loved it. Hey, we have many different sides here at Earrings Off, so you might
Yeah,
as well get used to it.
used
Okay?
to it. Right, right, right.
Tracy, you
But
tell everything.
it just came to me that we did kind of
You
celebrate.
know everything.
I'm sorry. I didn't know we were supposed to keep that a secret. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna
remember I
try.
told you there were differing points of opinion on that, and you and I talked about it.
Oh,
Now, I
you
just
were
brought
you,
in the thing about the Alabama Brawl and what that meant to me, and you thought it was okay. Oh, yeah, this is a nice segue into. We hung out at Barbie. Oh, Lord, I'm not going to make it on this show. I'm not going to
so
make it.
confused. You got me confused. Let me move on. All right.
No, go on and tell them about the Barbie nights.
There's nothing more to tell than we saw Barbie and we dressed in pink.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yes.
Us and a
Barbie
couple other
fans
ladies.
here. We celebrate the Alabama Riverfront Brawl and Barbie all in the same show because that's who we are. Yes. Okay.
So, a girl's day out, all right? But if you don't want to go see Barbie, you can plan a
But
picnic or
you
have
don't
some
have to
other
go
type
see
of
it,
fun.
but we enjoyed it, and it was about women's empowerment. So there you have it.
There you go. There you go. You can go to a spa, picnic, or explore a new city. It's an excellent opportunity to create some everlasting memories. You can send
Yeah.
thoughtful messages. Take the time to reach out to your girlfriends with heartfelt messages, expressing your gratitude for their presence in your life. Small gestures can go a long way in reinforcing the bond that you share. Virtual reunions. Now, I've done this quite a bit with my girlfriends down in Georgia. If distance celebrates you from your closest girlfriends, organize a virtual get together, share stories, laughs, and catch up on each other's lives through video calls. Gifts from the heart. Did you want to say something on that one?
Well, just when you were talking about arranged visits and stuff, as a matter of fact, this morning I spoke with my best friend from elementary, on, and I'm going to be in Charlotte later this month. And I just took a chance on saying to her, because she lives like hour and a half from there. And I said, I'm going to be, but her son is there. I said, I'm going to be in Charlotte. So I just wanted to let you know, I don't know if I'll get a chance to see you, because I did want to ask her, can you come see me? Because I didn't want to put her on the spot. I said, I don't know if I'll get a chance to see you, but I'll let you know. I just wanted you to know I'll be there. She said, oh, I'm there. I'm there. And I was so excited. I was like, "You're coming?" She said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll hang out." So I'm so
Yeah.
excited. Yeah,
That's some good times right there.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys will
Yeah.
have a good time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So
You
that
can
is good
provide
stuff.
gifts. It is gifts from the heart. Surprise your girlfriend with a meaningful gift that shows how much you cherish your friendship. Handwritten letters, personalized mementos, or thoughtful tokens will be cherished.
Have
Will
you
be
ever
treasured.
had that happen where somebody, a girlfriend, sent you a letter or a card? Isn't
Yes.
that the nicest
Yeah.
thing?
That is
Not for
so.
anything that you did, but just that they were thinking about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best of
I
that.
have a friend that will do that, and I'm such a heathen because I don't respond in kind. I will pick up the phone and call.
Well, that's good. That's just
Yeah.
your mode. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with
Right.
that.
But
There's
I
nothing
think it's
wrong.
so special. And my sister-in-law has a pen pal that she's had since high school. And they literally don't talk on the phone at all. They write each other notes
Oh,
and send
that's
them in the mail. And they have done that since they were
that's nice.
children. And
Yeah.
I think that's so sweet. That's how they keep in touch.
But
Hmm.
Teresa, you remember you and I have done this segment on how after COVID there's this loneliness epidemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's just more important than ever that you take care and nourish those friendships,
Hmm.
those relationships, because they'll help you fare better, you know, as you navigate through life. I can't tell you the number of times. As a matter of fact, I had lunch with a girlfriend earlier today and just got to talk about what's happening in her life, what's happening in mine. And you don't even worry about anything that you're saying being repeated or being judged. It's just, listen, this is what's
This is
happening.
real. This is
Yeah,
real talk.
yeah, yeah.
Real
And,
life.
yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, at one point during the conversation, she said, "Well, I know you're saying you're doing okay with this, but I can hear it in your voice. You're bothered." And so that allowed me to go a little deeper to talk about, well, yeah, this is what's happening. And that's therapeutic. There's been research done that shows that good friendships what is released or cortisol levels in your body that they just take away stress. They help to minimize stress. So
Yeah.
having someone that you can vent to,
Yeah.
it's just very good for you. Yeah,
Yeah. Very therapeutic.
very,
And
very.
the last point, support each other's dreams. Take this day as an opportunity to encourage and support each other's aspirations. Be each other's cheerleader and help
Mhm.
one another achieve greatness. I
That's
like
good.
that one.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's very good because particularly when you go through life and you're trying to face new challenges or maybe in different transitions. It could be changing a job, a relationship, a location, anything. And
Mhm.
if you just have that person to say, "You'll be okay," or, you know, you can do this, it
Yeah.
just makes you feel a bit more, it helps you feel calmer and more confident that, okay, this person that I trust is telling me, yeah, you got this. And it's like,
Right.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So,
so, in conclusion, it's a beautiful reminder. The National Girlfriends Day is a beautiful reminder of the significance of female friendships in our lives. It's a time to celebrate the powerful connections, the unwavering support, and shared experiences that make these relationships so precious. Whether it's with your childhood friend, like you mentioned, your college roommate, or your work buddy, take a moment this month, if you haven't already, and to express your love and appreciation for the incredible girlfriends who make your life brighter and better. And
mm.
have a happy National Girlfriends Day celebration.
Oh, Yes, kudos to you, the best. Enjoy. So,
That's right.
mhm,
Very,
yeah,
very, very good. Very good. All right,
very.
Lou. So, we're going to go ahead and get into the current events, but I don't want to talk about the brawl anymore. Okay?
Yeah, I, like I said, I got it all out my. I got it all out my system, so I'm all right with that. Okay,
Okay, very good. So,
I'm
can I
okay with
start?
that.
Okay,
Go
that's
ahead.
right.
I told you I don't really have a. I don't really have a whole lot. All my
It
topics
was
were
so
related
serious. Oh my
to the
goodness.
brawl, but I got some days. I got
That is too
something. I'm
funny.
telling
So,
you.
Lou, I read an article on CNN.com in the health section of CNN.com that really got me thinking and going, and it's about blood pressure because it's health
Okay.
related, right? So
Hmm.
the title of it was "One Size Fits All Blood Pressure Cuffs
I saw
Strikingly
that.
Inaccurate," study says.
I
Okay.
saw
It's quite
that.
a long article, so I just want to get to the meat of it. I've never before reading this thought about it. It makes so much sense. But I just want to read a little bit of it. There was a randomized trial of 195 people in Baltimore. They had their right arms measured by trained healthcare professionals to fit an appropriate size cuff. After instructing the participants to walk around for 2 minutes, the researchers measured their blood pressure using 3 different cuff sizes in random order: the regular, the standard size, an appropriate size, fitted size, and a third size too small or too large. For patients who fit smaller cuffs, the study found using a regular cuff size resulted in consistently low blood pressure readings. Meanwhile, individuals that required large or extra large cuff sizes received high blood pressure measurements when using regular cuffs, with bigger errors on average
Hmm.
than people who needed smaller cuffs. In
Yeah.
other words, using a smaller than recommended cuff size led to artificially high blood pressure numbers, while using a larger cuff size resulted in falsely low readings.
Hmm.
Those effects did not change depending on a person's existing blood pressure or obesity status, according to the report. This one person said, "We were shocked at how big a difference there was. They didn't expect the magnitude They didn't expect the magnitude that they found. For instance, individuals who should use an extra large blood pressure cuff received on average a systolic blood pressure reading that was 13.5% too high when using a cuff
What?
that was 2 sizes too small. That's a difference, according to Brady, that can change a doctor's hypertension diagnosis
Wow.
entirely.
That's huge.
Even
Yeah.
yes, even if a healthcare provider is trying to do the right thing and select an appropriate blood pressure cuff, she added, an incorrect measurement that results in a different cuff size can still have serious implications. I'm going to stop there. Well, let me just read this last paragraph. In this study, the average blood pressure for someone who needed an extra large cuff was 125/80, slightly elevated, right? And potentially prehypertensive, but not highly concerning. When
Hmm.
those patients used an undersized regular cuff, however, their average blood pressure was 144/87, a level that correlates with
Yeah.
stage 2 hypertension, and it
Wow.
can really it can have really significant clinical implications. So you can
Wow.
imagine where this study is going, right? People are
Yeah.
either over medicated or under medicated based
Yeah.
on whether or not they got the right cuff.
Right cuff
Now,
size.
I fall into that category where I am, routinely low, but now I'm starting to wonder, do I have the right cuff?
Oh.
My blood pressure is is low. And I feel like it's right because it's the ones who need the oversized cuff where the numbers
Hmm.
are
Hmm. Right.
mostly skewed,
Right.
but it's still very concerning because every time this other thing that happens to me whenever I go to the dentist, they use the wrist cuff. They don't use an arm cuff, and the girl just always, or a guy, always puts it on the wrist. And when I tell you, every reading when I go to the dentist is high, but they say most people are that way because
Yeah, when you
they
go
go to
there,
the
right.
dentist.
Right.
and,
Right. So,
and there's a leveling of anxiety associated with that.
right.
But this story struck me because of the number of people who are on blood pressure medication. And I wonder how many of them are on it because they're not on the using the right cuff. And how
Right.
many people aren't getting the medication and should be
Hmm.
because the
Hmm. Right.
wrong cuff size. I didn't even know there was a different size of cuff until I
Oh
read it.
yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I had no idea. And they the story went on to say that many children are impacted by this because the little ones really should have the right cuff for them, right? And so the story indicates that many that we should be very careful when it comes to our children and their blood pressures. But
Mm.
yeah, I did.
That's great information, Teresa.
Yeah,
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah.
And um, we want our audience to be well aware of that and to make sure you question that when you go in um, to your doctor. And even when you're doing readings at home, make sure you have the proper equipment for that. So, yeah.
Right. And I do have a cuff at home. And I'm just gonna have to ask someone if it's right, if it's the right cuff.
Well, I
So,
took mine into my doctor's
oh,
office
did
to
you do
have it
that? I
checked,
did not.
and
I
they calibrate it, make sure it's right. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
Well,
do
and
that. That
see,
took
yeah,
like,
you wouldn't have done that. You don't have high blood pressure. I do, and I'm pretty. You know how I am about that. I try
yeah,
to stay on top of. So I take it in just to
yeah.
make sure is this right, and do I get the same reading that you're getting? So,
I mean,
and
but
it's
even still, Lou, I need to know because what if I'm getting wrong readings? But when I go to the doctor, I only ever see the nurse with one. They're actually mounted in the room. You know,
yeah,
they're
they're mounted, but they can take off the cuff and interchange the cuffs on them.
Oh, I've never seen that. Well, I guess I wouldn't, but I have never seen them do that. But they've never
Yeah.
done that for me.
Hmm.
Okay, but that I thought was a very good story, and
That's excellent. That's
yeah,
excellent information.
okay,
Um, mine mine has a bit to do with how possibly the Alabama Riverboat Brawl could have been prevented, and I mean, it's just something to think about.
okay.
Um, Up until 1996, there wasn't a single state that had legalized cannabis for any purpose. But now 38 states and the District of Columbia have some form of cannabis legally available. I'm just thinking maybe if people had been chilling out a little bit, maybe that wouldn't have escalated. You never know if that brawl might not have happened if people had been, relaxing a little more. I'm just saying I'm trying to work my health thing into this Alabama Riverboat Brawl to see how it could have helped. But seriously, seniors, people over the age of 65, are now the fastest growing group of cannabis users in the United States.
Is that right?
Right now, the article from CNN says we are witnessing a sort of senior moment. Since 2020, the U.S. has spent $4 trillion a year on health care, and 580 billion was spent on pharmaceuticals alone. However, when it comes to seniors, 30% of people over the age of 65 take 5 or more pharmaceuticals every day. But they are increasingly turning to cannabis because it's relieving their pain. It's helping them with insomnia, anxiety. And so that is a more natural approach. And that is the fastest growing group of people who are using
Wow.
cannabis. legally. And like I said, I'm just saying somebody had to been getting high rather than, you never know what might have happened. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. So,
yeah,
you know, because I'm stuck on that brawl. But you know what I'm saying?
I
Seriously,
do. I
is
do.
that surprising?
That's
That
very surprising.
they
In a
are
way, and
finding
in a
that.
way not, right? Because it's the baby boomers who probably spent their early days anyway getting high. Now they're just
Right.
it's just full circle moment, you know?
Well, but it's not only that. They are finding that it is helping them. It's in terms of the cost for seniors in their their medical care, their medicines, that's significant. And the fact that they're able to come off of some of these medications. One man who was like, I think he was 90. He'd been suffering from insomnia for years, and he tried cannabis and he is sleeping. And as a result of him resting better, it's improved his brain function. And the research shows that it's improved him over a lot of different areas
Wow.
in his life. So
Wow.
yeah, seniors are
Yeah, that's
apparently uh,
yeah, that's really
finding
good.
that may work. Yeah, yeah, and of course, Teresa, the big news, which is not funny at all, was the dancer that was killed, I believe, in New York, that was dancing at the gas station, O'Shea Sibley, I believe. That was just so upsetting.
That
Yeah,
is tragic. Just so tragic.
yeah. You
Yeah.
just wonder,
Very
somebody said, read something the other day where this lady was saying, by her dressing, the way she dresses as a lesbian, it bothers people so, you know. And she said, I don't know why me having on something is bothering you. The fact that I guess her clothes are clothes typically worn by men. She was had a like a buzz cut, and had some athletic wear on that mostly you would see men in, kind of thing. And she was saying, I don't know why that bothers you, what I wear. And I'm trying to understand, why would it bother somebody that somebody is dancing? You know, we have just we've just gone way
mhm.
way too far in
Yeah.
how we critique and police other people. It's like, mind your own business. How about you handle you? And
Right. I just think the country is so divided and
yeah,
so polarized, and if you don't see things a certain way or act
yeah,
the way that an individual does, then you're considered wrong.
yeah.
And we
So
just
it's
need to really live and let live, you know?
yeah. So
So it's
that's
really sad.
that's what was so upsetting. But Teresa, do you have something else? Or
In terms of current events, nope.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, one thing I did work on, other than getting sucked down the rabbit hole, I wanted to talk a little bit about aging. Teresa, of course, folks, is the health person here at Earrings Off, but one thing that I'm becoming more knowledgeable about is aging. And I told Teresa I wanted to talk a bit about that because we are all aging every day. There's no getting around it. I don't care how the new phrase is, 50 is the new 30. It's not. We're aging because, there are just things that happen to us as we age that don't happen when we're 30. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about thinking about how we want to age. What can we do? What can we be more proactive about so that that's a better picture or a closer picture to what we want to see as we age? One thing we talked about previously was just, girlfriends, relationships. If you don't want to age alone, look at the relationships you have now and try to make sure you nourish them. Or you might even decide maybe this isn't a healthy one for you.
Right.
So to look at, your relationships. Is this someone that you want and you can trust in your life as you age? Of course, another way is looking at the finances, making sure that we're putting some money aside for a rainy day, And it just can't be that we expect to hit the lottery or we're going to come up with this multi-million-dollar idea. We've got to have more sound planning than that. And to think about, aging in place. Is that going to be an option for us? Or do we need to have some other considerations? So just looking at all of that, if we talk about aging in place, the house that you bought 10 years ago, it's also aging. Repairs are going to be more expensive. Can you afford the property taxes on it? All of that. Those are things you have to think about. And if you have a home that's more than one story, can you navigate in that kind of space? Is that
Yeah.
something you even want? So there are a lot of things we have to think about as we age. And the big one, of course, is just contentment, finding something that you love, that you can continue to do, that maybe doesn't require that you have the body or mobility or flexibility of a 20 or 25-year-old. What can you develop that's something that you can still do as you age, and that, you find joy in doing, and that you want to keep doing? And the way you do that is to be open to new experiences, to think, okay, if somebody says you want to try something, if it's safe or something, you might be surprised at what clicks with you that you never thought you would enjoy doing. So just find something that you enjoy, and try to stay motivated to do that. And the big thing that I found, Teresa, is learning to control our mind. You and I have done segments about how powerful the mind is. And so if we start thinking, okay, I'm getting older, I can't do this, I can't, don't look at that. Don't get fixated on what you can't do. Use your mind to find the positive. What can you do? What new opportunities are out there? Well, you might be able to travel now, to afford to travel, that you could never afford to go to these places when you were younger because you were so busy with the child care and with the job and all of that. But find some things that you enjoy and use your mind to find the positives, to think about what will work for me, and that's going to feed me as I get older. So those are just things. And I think a lot of that is sometimes we are so busy, we're multitasking all day long, all day, every day. Slow down a bit. Slowing down is not a bad thing to think about. Is this good for me? Do I enjoy this? Are there going to be rewards or consequences as a result of this action? And I think that's where we start as we age, just sort of thinking about what's working and what's not. Because aging is not the movies. You don't get a happy tale all the time, but you can make it your own, and you can work to have the storybook ending that you want to have, given where you are in life. So I think a lot of it starts with the mind and what we decide to do. So, yeah.
Hey, that's some awesome information, Lou.
Well,
Thank you for that.
Well,
I,
it's, I told you, I'm trying to navigate my new normal. And a lot of times people don't talk about that because,
Mhm.
this society, people don't want to say I'm aging. Well, that's the reality. Everyone is aging. Babies are aging. Everybody, every day that you live. But it's how you approach that, you know?
Right.
hmm
I'm one that doesn't want to think about it.
I know, Teresa, you're funny. You really don't. You really, that's why I was hesitant to mention this. I was like, Teresa doesn't
Yeah.
like to talk about aging.
No.
But Teresa, that may be good too, because
Yeah.
like I said, you don't want to get fixated on it. Because
Yeah.
you don't want to start thinking, well, I can't do this. I'm getting older. We are aging, but there are a lot of amazing examples out there of people who are doing quite well as they age.
Let me
And
tell
they
you
serve as my
something.
motivation. They do.
Let me tell you, there's one lady, one such lady in our church who is 91 years young, And I talked to her on Sunday, and what she said to me was, I said, "How are you doing today? You are looking absolutely gorgeous." And she was walking on her own, mind you,
Mm.
headed toward her seat at Bible study. But anyway, she said, "This old body is starting to let me down, Teresa." And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, really? I couldn't tell." She said, "Yeah, my mind just isn't as sharp as it used to be." The fact that she remembered my name and I haven't seen her in, I know, 6 months, a year
Yeah,
or
'cause
more.
you
A
definitely
long
haven't been in church, so I'm shocked. Go on.
uh-oh, 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 shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. And she said, you know,
Wow.
that that her body was, she's feeling some aches and pains that she hasn't felt before, and she's 91 years young. And I said,
Wow.
"You are doing amazingly well compared, I mean,
True. It's so
comparatively."
true. It's
Yeah, and
true.
I'm like, "Please don't say that, you
Yeah.
know?" And I said, you keep reading, you keep talking, you keep coming to church, you keep being social, you keep doing all the things you do, and you're going to be just fine. Just
And that
amazing.
being social is a big part of it, you
Oh,
know?
being social is huge. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
it is.
is.
It's
It is.
amazing. Yeah. So yeah,
Because,
thank you for that, Lou. And
it's
yeah,
good.
I
It's good.
mean,
It's
getting
good
old
stuff.
is no joke.
Yeah.
And we have to take care. I mean, if you're, I mean, loneliness, as we talked about in that previous segment, can cause all the same ailments as if, you know smoking or drinking do, right? It's just as bad on your body as some of the other vices that cause untold, dis-ease in the body.
Mhm.
So don't allow yourself, if at all possible, to be in that state. It is for a long time, for an extended period of time, because at some point in our lives we all, I'm sure, experience loneliness,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're honest, yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
that
Right. Right.
happens.
Right.
It's life, but it's how you navigate that. And I think some of it, Teresa, is being aware that that's inevitable and to prepare. Okay, how am I going to navigate this? Navigate through this. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's why having friendships or relationships, when I talked about earlier, trying to assess, is this a good relationship for you, or is it working, is it not? Because you want to be able to have someone that you can say, you know what, I'm lonely, and this is going on with me, and not feel like you're going to be judged and pitied because you said that, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, because a lot of people won't say because they don't want to be, seen as abnormal or any of that. And so
Mhm.
many times in the society, that's what we've done, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's just, yeah, being vulnerable it takes a lot of strength and courage.
yeah. Oh, it does. It
Yeah,
does. It
it
absolutely
does.
does. So, yeah. So that's our show tonight. We've talked about a lot, and we certainly here at Earrings Off, our goal is to keep you informed and for us to have the information we need to make better decisions about our lives. So, so with that, we're going to Teresa. We ready for our evening mantra?
We are. But can you introduce the segment? Would you introduce the segment?
The mantra.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The mantra is called Cusp of a New Day. I talked about an important part of aging is the power of the mind, what we tell ourselves. And that's a great segue into this mantra because
Right.
we've shared with you here on Earrings Off that mantras are important.
They
What
are.
you say to yourself every day is very important. Um, You want to speak kindly to yourself. You want to just not fixate on the negatives, but to think about the positives. Um, and the grace that you so freely extend to others when they make a misstep or a mistake, you want to extend that to yourself. Look yourself in the face and be kind to yourself. There is a lot going on. If you listen to the news, or if you're watching and you hear what's going on in the world, it's enough to feel the weight on you every day, where you've got to be proactive and try to come up to counter that. And a way to counter that is through what you say to yourself. And people can say it sounds hokey, or that's not, it's true.
It is
It's
absolutely
so
100%.
true. Speak kindly to yourself and
Yeah.
applaud yourself, even if it's just you making it one more day without you being an aggressor, or you saying something that you're ashamed you said or wish you hadn't have said. Small steps, those are big things. Being civil to someone else, being generous with someone else.
Right.
Those are big steps, particularly when you've had a hard day, and the tendency is for you that you're grumpy, and it's like, you know what, I'm just trying to make it through. But if you can be kind in that, that's huge. So again, this evening mantra is called Cusp of a New Day.
Here we sit, less than 4 hours away from a new day.
What joy did today bring?
Was there pain?
Was there disappointment?
As this present day ends,
we invite you to close your eyes. That's right. Close your eyes and envision the promise of tomorrow.
may peaceful rest find you.
May your slumber allow your body to reset, to properly fuel you for the demands of tomorrow.
If you should dream, may the images you see and the emotions you feel
bring a smile to your face,
hope to your spirit,
and comfort to your heart.
When you awake, may you remember to let yesterday's cares remain in yesterday.
May you overflow with the possibilities and the promise of this new day.
Remember that wherever the day takes you,
the journey is only yours to make.
May the roads you choose tomorrow spur you to your desired destination.
Tonight, this night, may you be saturated in peace and
be well and
rest well. That's it for us here tonight on Earrings Off. We thank you so very, very much for joining us. Our next show is Saturday, August 26th at 9 a.m. It's a 30-minute show.
Our next regular show is Tuesday, September 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We also do a weekly blog, which is published on our website each Tuesday. Please don't sleep on these blogs. It's some very interesting reading, informative reading. Check us out at earringsoff.com.
We invite you to share your thoughts on tonight's episode. Send us a quick email to, and I'll give you a second to get a pen, info@earringsoff.com.
Have a wonderful evening.
And stay safe. Take good care.
Bye-bye.